Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Caoimhin Agyarko came in quite late to face Ryan Kelly on the undercard of the Dalton Smith Matteo Germain card on DAZN, and it was a good old fight. Good little fight this was. It was a 10-rounder for one of the secondary WBA belts. Gets you a ranking. But Ajago, this was a little calculated gamble because he improved to 17 wins with only 7 KOs. Very, very sharp puncher, orthodox, excellent with the right hand, really fast, sharp right hand. No draws, no defeats on his record, so he's kind of flying, and he's 28 now, so he's pretty much, if not in his prime, then certainly approaching it. But against Kelly, he had an opponent who came in with 19 wins, 8 KOs, 5 defeats, and 1 draw. But that record is very deceptive because Kelly himself is a very, very good fighter. When you consider that 2 of his defeats were split decisions to Kieran Conway and Brad Pauls. I mean, the last fight was against Conway. Like I say, he lost a split decision. That was for the vacant Commonwealth middleweight title. We're talking middleweights here. The Brad Pauls split decision was a 10-rounder. He was in with Hamza Shiraz and got stopped in 6. That was back in 2019. But, okay, Shiraz was, as we know, huge for the weight, and there's no shame in that. Shiraz is a very good fighter. And he really came to win, Kelly did, very, very much so. He's 31 now, so he's not going to get many more opportunities at 31 at this level. And he does slip to like 19, 6 and 1. And you can make a case. Can you make a case from winning? I would say not. I think it was a majority decision in favour of Ajago, but I honestly thought he won. I thought he won maybe 6, 7 rounds. I think 2 of the judges had it. One had it 90, 96, 94. One had it 97, 94. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. But for the first fight, make no mistake about it, Kelly was winning. I thought winning the fight. He very upright. He was fighting as a southpaw. I've seen him in the past. He's fought as an orthodox, but maybe switch hits. I don't know. But Ajago was, like I said earlier, he's got that very, very accurate, sharp right hand, very, very quick. And even though Kelly was standing upright, constantly moving forward, Caoimhin Agyarko boxing quite aggressively on the back foot, let Kelly come towards him, pinging the right over. Good jab from both fellas. Actually showed a good jab in this fight, but I thought Kelly it was close. I think I had Kelly 3-2 up after 5, and Ajago was cut over the right eye. It wasn't right above the right eye. I think it was sort of diagonal slice by the side, but it must have been in an awkward place or maybe an awkward angle. Those diagonal cuts are quite difficult to close, or more difficult to close than the like a clean slice, because it did sort of weep a little bit throughout the fight. But that's probably testament to Kelly's accuracy. And Ajago, in the middle round, you thought this is maybe getting away from Ajago, because in the middle round, like 5, 6, I felt 4, 5, 6. I felt that Kelly was doing well, was doing very well. And Ajago was just a step behind, but he pulled it together probably from about a 6th, 7th round onwards. I mean, there was that. It's almost like, he had a fire lit under his arse, Ajago, and he thought, okay, I've got to get on now. This isn't a 12 rounder. This is a 10 rounder, and he did just that. He was really suddenly seemed to move up a gear, and that kind of contained Kelly more. Kelly suddenly wasn't being quite as aggressive, quite as front-footed. He wasn't throwing as many punches, quite simply. And gradually Ajago took over, impressively so, actually. He was up in the ante with regard to his output. It was actually impressive the way he went through the gears, because he adapted, he adjusted. And sometimes, especially if you've only got 4 or 5 rounds to do it, that's very difficult to do. And like I say, he came in quite late as a replacement for Ishmael Davis, I think it was. Now, Ajago, his previous fight had been against Harley Collinson, who was only 3-1-2 or 3-2-1 at Bethnal Green at the York Hall. That was just an 8-rounder. But that was recently, and sometimes even if it's against a journeyman or a less experienced guy, just a little run around, it gets you fighting fit, it gets you sharp. And I'll bet you Ajago's thinking, I'm glad I had that 8-rounder, which was only back in March, I think. Yeah, last month, wasn't it? Yeah, because we're still in April. But it clearly sharpened him up, whereas Kelly, yes, he had that split decision defeat to Conway. That was at the back end of last year. I think it was October, November last year sometime. And prior to that, he had a draw. He had a split draw against Jerome Warburton. So he's really not getting the rub of the green as far as the cards are concerned. In the last, less than a year, he's had 2 defeats in the draw, and he's actually better than that. He's actually a pretty good fighter, Ryan Kelly. He did show a fair old bit against Ajago. I mean, he's not going to be considered, a world beater, but then Ajago's got it all to prove on the big stage himself. But you know what? I wouldn't object to a rematch. Maybe over 12. I don't know, because this was an entertaining fight. It was very technical. They were evenly matched. There was a lot of entertainment going on. There was a little bit of drama. The cut to Ajago's eye. But I did feel that Kelly, probably Ajago just had a few more gears than Kelly. And Kelly kind of petered out a bit in the second half of the fight. I don't quite know why. I think maybe it was just the fact that Ajago got his timing down, got his rhythm down. As I often say in fights that I watch, where was the body work? There were a few body punches here and there, 1 or 2 here and there, but not nearly enough from either guy. Especially as Kelly he has that style where he's upright, he stands upright, and the torso is there to be hit. Ajago's a little bit more of a crouch, but of course that's not to say you can't go to the body just because someone's in a crouch. But it was a competitive fight, and I kind of feel a little bit for Kelly because, like I say, in his last 3 fights, he's got 2 defeats, a majority decision defeat, a split decision defeat, and a split draw. But anyway, Ajago moves up. He's on to 17 wins, no draws, no defeats. Kelly slips to 19, 6-1. Be interesting to see what happens next. But a rematch over 10, yeah, why not? Or maybe even 12, why not? So I don't know if you saw this fight, but if you did and you got any opinions, leave them below. How far do you think Caoimhin Agyarko can go? And what do you think about Ryan Kelly? Do you share my view that he's better than his record suggests? He's kind of a who needs him, high risk, low reward figure. But let me know what you think. Comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and thank you once again. We've reached 6,000, a little bit over 6,000 now subscribers. Thank you. Keep building the channel up. Spread word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Do all that good stuff, and get all your mates to join as well. Why not? Why not indeed? All right, more to come tonight. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.